All right, guys, let's check this out. Hopefully, everybody had a nice Friday night. We got an early day slate at NBA today. Who's got two thumbs up and forgot about that until just a little bit ago? That'd be this guy right here. So we're gonna have to rush a little bit this morning, but we'll do the write up and we'll do the video. This will be a members only, free to the public, because quite frankly, that's what we got time for right now. So let's rock and roll. We're getting to the playoffs, and that's a good thing, guys. So quick shout out to our friends over at Drafters today, guys. This is what the website looks like. You've seen us do some videos for it. You see us talk about it a little bit. Got a variety of sports you can play with. They got GPPs that you can play with. You can get into some of these heads up games. I know, like for me, I love to play some of these like $50 and $22 heads up games. You can play against somebody or in threesomes. We play, I don't know. It's a fun time. So get on the website's Drafters, check them out. And then before we roll into today's picks, the website link for the 5-pack is below. It is a perfect opportunity to buy a monthly membership right now because you get baseball and basketball. NBA playoffs is always fire over at the 5-pack. Let's make some real good money come playoff time. I know a bunch of us have been itching for the playoffs to start, and they're almost here, guys. We got 2 days of regular season left, and that starts today. So it's a 5-gamer, guys. We got 2 games that start, an hour later. The other 3 start. We're still waiting on a ton of news, but you also can't wait to like put out information because the NBA comes with it really late. So let's start with the first game, which is going to be Chicago against Brooklyn. Um, Brooklyn has a little motivation to win this game, right? Like they need to stay ahead of Milwaukee. Milwaukee owns a tiebreaker, so they're going to want to win this one. Shouldn't be a big deal. Chicago is now mathematically and officially limited from the playoffs. So I don't necessarily, when it comes to Chicago, guys, I don't trust them to play bigger minutes with guys like Levine, guys like Nikola Vucevic. So if I were to shoot my shot with guys on Chicago, it'd probably be younger players like a Kobe White maybe. Uh, Definitely a Patrick Williams could have his day in the sun right here. I don't really trust any guys until they start maybe ruling guys out a little bit. You never know what's going to happen. Markkanen is a guy. Like I'd play Markkanen ahead of Aminu all day long, coming off one of the better games of his season. Shot the 3 ball really well, feeling good today. They're probably still trying to figure out what they have with Lauri Markkanen, so I could see him being a nice wild card today. And a guy I do have some GPP interest in. If this game still meant something, I would like Vucevic a lot. I liked him the other day against Brooklyn. He was god awful. I was wrong. I would like him here if this game meant something, but it doesn't. That doesn't mean Vooch won't play good minutes, and it doesn't mean you aren't going to have extra salary to use. I don't necessarily trust that kind of play today. So Markkanen, Williams, and Kobe White, as of right now, is what I would probably look at. But that doesn't mean they don't go, like full deep bench and like Javonte Green plays 32 minutes, which is kind of the tough part about a game like this. I would be less hesitant. Like I'm probably not going to go on a guy like Garrett Temple, right? Older veteran player, plays decent minutes throughout the season. That's not the kind of play I'd want to make. Brooklyn, on the other hand, like, are we actually going to see the big 3 today? It's awesome. So we got KD, James Harden, Kyrie, all playing together today. Joe Harris has officially been ruled out. Landry Shamet is coming off his best game in a while. I can see why you'd want to take a chance with him because they need a catch and shoot guy on this one. Probably not going to be the best value on the board, though. We got Spurs guys that we know are lined up. He should be low owned for that reason, but probably going to be low owned for a reason. If you wanted to take a chance on like a Mike James because you think Brooklyn just flat out rolls, understandable. Probably not where I'm going to end up. And with all 3 guys playing in this one, and Harden, I think, what did he play last game? Like 26 minutes, was it? Yeah, 26 minutes exactly. So great game by him. I don't think they're going to push him here. So I'm not really looking to play any of these big 3 necessarily right here. It may, as we break this one down, actually be a day to use up or actually leave a little money on the table. I don't know. We'll talk through this one because you get to this next game. When it comes to the Lakers, like we don't know what the deal is yet. Schroeder, James, and Anthony Davis are still questionable. I mean, we can't even really talk about the Lakers at this point in the morning because we don't know what's up with them. I could see James playing and Davis out. I could see Davis playing and James out. I could see all these guys playing. I could see them all being out. So for the time being, the honest evaluation I would give on this one is Indiana sucks at defense. However, they are also more than happy to play at the pace of play of the opponents. Like when they play a team like the Wizards or Milwaukee. Let's go over to the Pacers guys real quick. Okay, so like when they play a team like that against Milwaukee, 133 to 142, you play a slower, more defensive-oriented team like Philly, they kind of run with the pace against them. So the Lakers are not a fast-paced team, especially not if like LeBron's playing and stuff like that. As far as the Pacers go, it could be a Brissett day, maybe. Sabonis is questionable. He left last game. We saw what Brissett did without Sabonis. It's not a top-tier matchup. However, like if the Lakers sit everybody and they don't play today, and then the flip side of that is Sabonis is out, I am going to be interested in Brissett, even with Batazde out or Goga around, because Brissett's still been playing big minutes. They signed this guy to a deal, even with Sabonis around. We know Turner's out. And then we get over to the other things that could be issues. For example, we know Malcolm Brogdon's out. Aaron Holiday is still questionable. Karis LeVert is now questionable. TJ McConnell was great for most of us the other day, as I know he was big-time chalk. He played 45 minutes. If LeVert and Aaron Holiday are out again, he is going to play huge minutes again. So I would like TJ McConnell. He's just a nice little cog in the machine type of player. So again, it's another team that we can't talk about, but we do know Lamb and Sumner, and these guys are out. Justin Holiday was amazing the other day. I would not read nearly as much into this. Milwaukee is very susceptible to the three ball. If you guys remember this day, I brought up Doug McDermott as a sleeper that day. And Doug McDermott was okay. 25 points off of 4,500. There was so much value that day. We didn't end up really going here. He didn't get any rebounds. But he was not hot from three the way Holiday was. The reason I bring that up is because the Lakers play substantially better defense in games like this than Milwaukee does. When Milwaukee gets a little lead, they don't become very defensive oriented, and they're also very susceptible to three-point shooters. We talk about that with Justin Holiday. He's very capable of being okay here, but like he is no lock for a big game. I'm sure most of you guys know that at this price tag, especially in this kind of different matchup. All right, Charlotte against New York. I think important thing to note right here is these two teams both seem like they're trying to play. You know what I mean? Like, if you're the Knicks, don't you want the 5 seed so you can play the Hawks versus the Bucks? I think so. So they're motivated to win. I'm pretty sure Charlotte wants to stay ahead of Indiana, so they want to win this game. These two teams are also very, very healthy. So it's not a game I'm looking to toss a bunch of players in here. They even get Bridges back today. I think the point could be for Randall is a lot of the studs have holes in their games today. So it's not a perfect spot for Randall, but they're still playing to win. He plays monster minutes every day. Give me some Julius Randle in my life. We have the money. Of all the big money players today, this could also be a reason like you might play a Brooklyn guy even though you don't love him just because you have the money. We'll figure that out when we learn a little bit more about, Davis and LeBron and stuff like that. But Randall seems to be a lock to play good minutes, and there's going to be a ton of value because as we move over to the San Antonio Spurs, they are loaded with guys that you can play. So we already know Derek White's out. He's been out for a while. DeRozan is out. I'm assuming Rudy Gay's not going to play. Pirtle is out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Trey Lyles hasn't played in many hot minutes. And the reason you can just assume that San Antonio might just literally rest everybody, they're not going anywhere, right? Like, they're in the 10th seed. They ain't catching Memphis. It's statistically impossible. The team below them, New Orleans, also mathematically eliminated. There is literally no reason. Pop started this whole rest thing. So, I just can't picture him playing a guy like Rudy Gay or DeJounte Murray today. Just can't. Doesn't mean he won't. I don't expect it. We're just going to open up value with whoever comes out. Lonnie Walker is probably going to be a really good play. He may go deep down on the bench, too. You might see a guy like Jones play big minutes. I would watch for as much news as I could possibly get out of this one. Looking at the center position, they have Eubanks, Drew, who is a good DFS player. Not a good, real life player, but he's a good DFS player. No Pirtle today. But usually when Pirtle's out, we see him play, more minutes. He should play a bunch of minutes today. Gorgi Zhang, Not a guy that's heavy into the rotation, but, also a decent DFS player. Most big men are. He could be on there. You could play both of them. They could definitely go deep on their bench today with guys like a Bates Diop. I don't think he'd be your optimal play. I definitely prefer the two other centers. And then Keldon Johnson. If Keldon Johnson's like the only guy playing today that's any good, it's going to be like him and Lonnie Walker are really good looks. So, Vassell also playing solid minutes, should have a much bigger usage rate today. Keep your eyes peeled on San Antonio for the rest of the day, but this is going to be a premier spot to go for pay down options because they might run 8 deep and they might run their worst 8 players today. So they can get into guys like Weatherspoon. This does not be an optimal play or even probably a smart play, but they're going to run a bad team. So then you get over to the Phoenix guys. Phoenix, game and a half back. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of movement right here. I would be weary of the Chris Pauls and the Devin Bookers right here. Ayton missed last game. No idea what's going to happen here. I would probably play the San Antonio Spenders over Kaminsky and Saric. I know I mentioned them as flyers last time out that you probably want to got started. Saric played way more minutes than Kaminsky as the starter. He's in play if Ayton is out, but I probably like the San Antonio guys a little bit better. I would be leery, in my opinion, of the studs, the Bookers and CP3s. Definitely give me Julius Randle over that, and then let's move over to the next game, which is Boston, Minnesota. I haven't played Cat in a hot minute, but I do want to commend the Timberwolves for something. And again, this seems so sad that I have to call this out as admirable. But in a season where like the team below them, the Thunder, gave up a long time ago, same with the Rockets. You got the Pistons and the Magic not trying at all. Like I commend like the Cavaliers and like Minnesota Timberwolves for still running out their team a lot of different nights and like giving the at least even their TV watching fans something to root for. I don't know. I think that's commendable. So we come over here. They've been playing hard. You got Boston's JV squad out today. Give me some Cat too. This is why I probably don't double up on the San Antonio centers and pick one. Is I do find Karl Anthony Towns to be one of the better options for big men today, specifically because I trust him to be out there the whole game. Now, KD and Harden and Kyrie could play the whole game, or they could get up 30 if Chicago is running their B squad or not trying and not play bigger minutes, especially a guy like Harden, who is great DFS points per minute, but is coming off an extended injury. D'Angelo Russell, again, on a main normal slate, maybe I wouldn't be trying to end up here, but he plays big minutes and he's not coming off a good game, but that's okay. He had a bunch of good games before that. Same goes for Anthony Edwards. I could see the argument to loading up with the big three here of Russell, Edwards. Could we actually get there, Towns? And being a little bit more aggressive with Boston and just playing the Boston guys that, play their best lives today. I'm not saying that's the best play because you're going to want to get some of that San Antonio love in there. But as we move over to Boston today, what do we know? No Brown, no Walker, no Smart. And then Tatum. Ooh, okay. Never mind. I misread something earlier. I entered this with a little bit of a brain fart. Okay. So Fournier and Tatum are both probable. I know we saw this game the other day. Fournier wasn't great. Tatum wasn't great. But he was all right. Okay, I think Tatum. So the way I look at it, I'll take this back. Towns, Tatum, and Randall are the studs I'm most interested in. So I'd probably, at least have to take one of those guys out of there. You're going to have plenty of space to get around here. There's going to be a couple guys on Boston you can take a look at. Aaron Nesmith, wildly in play, should play some decent minutes. Fournier is probably a look you want to go with right here as well, which is then going to limit you. You could go with Peyton Pritchard is probably a guy you're going to want to get into your lineup as well. And then, for example, this is where we go take a look at San Antonio. You can go with like a Devin Vassell. And then, we're going to be a little short on Lonnie Walker. We may have to play around with this one a little bit. and see what else we can do. Because you definitely probably going to want the starter here, which is more than likely going to be Eubanks. So we're 500 short. Adjustments may need to be made here. But for me, Pritchard, Fournier, Tatum, Randall, Towns. Yeah, these are kind of the guys I'm looking at. So mostly I'll ignore this first game, Chicago-Brooklyn. Doesn't mean there's not plays in there. Marketing, for example, is a guy that we brought up, Williams. And I'd watch for any more news. Let's quickly refresh our fantasy labs and see what we got. No news. Expect some news to come, though, in a little bit. You might find out, more information. But I think you pay your best attention onto San Antonio. Very shorthanded. Boston. And then definitely give me some Karl-Anthony Towns or Anthony Edwards. So in this lineup right here, maybe you put Eubanks into the center position and you go with Anthony Edwards. Because Edwards and Towns, to me, are a horse apiece for points per dollar. And this would actually let us get the build. So I think that could potentially be the move right there then. So I know we're quick today, but the slate starts early. And I slept on this one a little bit. I completely forgot that we started early today. So I'm glad I looked, but we'll just keep it a little bit tight today. So good luck to everybody, and I'll talk to you guys later.